In the clearing beneath a shady spruce are two large sitting stones. I sit on one and close my eyes, summoning Spirit to join me. Spirit does. We greet each other in our usual way. He holds presence in his hands. Presence, where we are right now. He, me, thou, present in his hand, here. Outside time, don't look back. Be present. We sit a sitting stone apiece. Spirit conveys, I know not how, a simple message. Be free. A tugging in my body, magnetic, attracts me to be free, to freedom. A quaver rides the raw stump of my spine, and I am a flesh heap in a clearing. Again, I quiz the universe. This is freedom. Aspens gossip about me, my ears burn, the sun explodes as always. Post-skeletal as I am, I can still sing. What songs do I sing? One of those ancient songs that is all feeling, no specific meaning, only an accord of gibberish that creates arisings in the singer, the hearer, and spirit. Emotional language for the here and now, emanating directly from muscle and meat, sinew and cuticle, understood by all trees and all critters in the vicinity. The songs of creation pour through me. My lips barely move. Life songs, death songs, rebirth songs, the songs are singing me forward. Their power lingers between notes, melodies set adrift, oarless, vanish over the horizon. A flock of birds reminds me of something, as do the songs. I'm reminded of wood smoke, shadows dancing behind me on tree trunks and cave walls, the spaces between moments where freedom lives. The songs are not about being free. They are freedom. Moderns tell me the songs only fall on the deaf ears of the forest. I know better. Just as the songs sung me, so do they sing the forest. The stuff of freedom and the stuff of the forest are the same. The old songs. They are the planksty, the withering sighs of tall grass, impossibly small cries of newborn kittens, music of the intestine, gut rock, the chisel and the glove, the old songs. They are the clangor of bells rung by microbes, the languid shwee of a passing earthworm, the cave in the ocean and its bubbles, moon songs, the old songs, feeling songs, pre-verbal, womb songs, our earliest gurgle, the twang of sperm entering ovum, a murmur of ooze. This is a bag of letters and numbers I recently found in a box of family stuff. They are from my childhood. These letters originally came with a slotted frame you could hang them on by these little pooks on the back of the letters. The frame is long gone, and so are many of the letters. But in the progression of my early literacy, these letters immediately followed wooden blocks with letters on them. My teacher mom, these letters, and me spent many hours together building words, learning about capitals and lowercase, instilling language into a new and eager mind. And what was the first word I spelled with these letters? What was word one in my literate journey? Well, I'd
Learned to spell the word with blocks and then easily translated it into plastic letters. Let's see if I can find my first word. My own name. Of course, not a surprise, really. But how that word sparked my imagination. I was looking at myself in a mirror that turned everything into letters. I got the writing concept early. William Burroughs said, "Language is a virus from outer space." These letters were where I got infected. But even earlier, before all of that, long before all of that, there was another way to spell Reid. R E I D. And this too will all be washed away, forgotten, erased, expunged. My memory is what I forget with. This is one of just 5 plates that arrived unbroken in a barrel of china that my paternal grandmother, Grandma Dickie, brought with her from Scotland in 1914. Other than these plates, Grandma opened a barrel of shards. Here are the other 4 plates. My parents gave me this watch when I graduated into grade 9, which out in Shoal Lake is when high school starts. There's no middle school out there. They gave me the watch at the end of June 1963. I remember it vividly. Dad gave me the watch at the noon hour as we'd gotten out of school early on that last day. Mom was in Winnipeg at the time receiving post-surgery cancer treatment. They were so proud of me. I was a top-of-the-class student, bright, imaginative, and ready to take on high school. The watch was made by Rodania, which is a Swiss watch company with an excellent reputation. My watch has 17 jewels. It's the kind that you have to wind. Quartz watches weren't available until 1969. The stainless steel watch is anti-magnetic, water resistant, and in cab lock, meaning that it's shock resistant as well. The expansion band is original to the watch, very cool back then, as it is now. I wore this watch for years, for decades. Though a few of the numbers are starting to wear off, it remains in pretty good condition. If I remember to wind it, it still keeps pretty good time. When my parents gave me this watch, it became a symbol of their pride in me. Today the watch still holds that meaning. When I do wear the watch, I can feel their unconditional love, a familiar and powerful presence in my life. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad. I know what one of these keys opens. The intent and ability of all the others has been removed from memory. Not just my memory, but all memory. The memory of the world. Here lies a pile of unambiguous forgetting. The keys, their purpose has been expunged. The keys, wiped out by inattention and death. The keys, their purpose irretrievable. The keys, unremembered. Some key questions burn. What do keys remember? Do they remember their locks? If they do, how long before a key forgets its lock? If ever. I know what one of these keys opens. This one. This is my family's post office key. This key opens Shoal Lake Post Office box number 73, which my parents and I had from October 1957 until January of 2001. Dad carried this little key on his key ring for 43 years. It's worn smooth by decades of constant rubbing. The words are erased and the teeth are worn down. This little brass key spent nearly 16,000 days in Dad's warm pocket. It almost feels soft to the touch. I remember the countless times I would get the post office key, walk the 3 blocks to the post office, open the little rectangular silver-colored box. It was on the second row from the top on the wall of boxes. I'd extract the precious royal mail that was bound just for us and close the little door, but not before looking intently through the box, which opened into the post office beyond. The back room of the post office held unknowables, and the only chance we mere key holders got to glimpse them was through the tunnel of our box. Then I'd shut the little door that closed with a reassuring snap and know that our mail, the post office beyond, and all of its mysteries were safe. I wonder who has post office box number 73 today, and I wonder if this worn little key would still open it. Before you then, Grandma's plates, her son's post office key, her grandson's memories, all served up with rich portions of remembering and forgetting. What could this mysterious box with the old-fashioned clasp contain? Well-built, weighty. Let's open it. Let's open it. It's my microscope from my youth. From the early 1960s, this COC microscope came with 3 lenses of increasing power, 100 times, 200 times, 300 times. And it says so right on the very front of the instrument there. COC, by the way, stands for Circle of Confusion, which is, I looked it up, an optical spot caused by a cone of light rays from a lens not coming to a perfect focus when imaging a point source. Got that? Okay. This microscope was made in Japan. It fits its box snugly, perfectly. It's all metal, and it's surprisingly heavy. It came with a set of glass slides, which are tucked away up in this little holder in the corner. There are 2.5 slides left. Motivated by curiosity, I checked this out on eBay to find similar models in similar boxes, but none of the ones I found had a special feature that mine does. Below the slide plate, there's a little mirror which is used to direct light up through the slide. An external source of light can be used, pointed at the mirror for that. This feature is fairly common on old microscopes. But what isn't common is that this model has its own light. And it still works as well today as it did 50 years ago when I was peering through it as a kid. Powering it are two AA batteries in the base of the microscope. I got this for Christmas when I was about 11 or 12, and I spent endless hours staring through the little hole, unlocking the mysteries of the microscopic world. I looked at insect wings, hair, chemical compounds, dust, feathers, whatever was handy. I was amazed at the microscopic world that I found in slough water, which was filled with little organisms that my microscope brought into view, brought into life. I remember learning at school, probably in health class when I was about 13, that human sperm were big enough to be seen in most microscopes. Being a quick study, I decided to experiment after school with my own microscope and my own sperm. I rushed home to an empty house, got my microscope ready, produced the sperm and dabbed some on a slide. My hand quivering, I adjusted the scope, and on the highest power, they came into view. Swimming heads with wiggly tails, eagerly seeking an egg. I was elated by what I saw, and confused too. I stared into the microscope until the sperm started to slow down, and then they started to die right before my eyes. A few minutes before they were keen, unstoppable, guided by the powerful male imperative, and now they lay still, spent, just a drying dab on a glass slide. My elation and confusion turned to sadness and confusion. I was too young to fathom the mystery I'd just witnessed. I have a better grasp on that particular mystery now, though. Today my microscope still works perfectly. Other than the slide clamp missing here on this side, the rest of it is intact. However, I have little reason to use it these days. So, back into its sturdy box it goes to wait and wait for the next pair of curious eyes to stare into its mysteries. I'm 64 years old. I'm just 14 years older than this frying pan. This frying pan has been in my family for 50 years, and it's been used almost daily the whole time. This frying pan came into my family in 1962 when we moved into the little house Dad and Mom had built on 4th Avenue in my little town, Shoal Lake, Manitoba. With our brand new house, we got all new appliances and cookware, Corningware, Pyrex, and Mom's favorite, her beloved Revereware frying pan. That's the one with the copper bottom that distributed the heat better than the stainless steel which comprised the rest of the pan. The one with the sculpted lid that still fits like a glove. The one with the heat-resistant plastic handle that still has the metal hanging loop. The one with the heat-resistant plastic lid handle. Other than the heavy-duty blackening on the copper, the only other bit of damage are two small chips under the handle. You can see them there. And there's a tiny little dent somewhere in the lid. I can't even see it. Other than that, the pan is like new. Now for history buffs, Revereware was a company in Clinton, Illinois that made high-quality copper-clad pots and pans since 1938 when the technique was invented. The company no longer exists. Food memories abound in this little frying pan, evoking the kitchen that looked out in the busy street in a small town, and the aromas that wafted out the window into the prairie air. This half-century frying pan contains some memories of innumerable eggs, poached, scrambled, sunny side, over easy, omelets, and potatoes, and bacon, and sausages, and pancakes, reheated leftovers, grilled cheese sandwiches. Ah, the best grilled cheese sandwiches. I made another perfect grilled cheese yesterday in this pan. You know, it has to do with the copper bottom, you see? It's still working, 50 years later. This frying pan has outlived my mother and my father, and no doubt will outlive me. After that, I have no clue what will happen to the old Revereware frying pan. That decision is not mine to make. It will be made nonchalantly, quickly, one of hundreds of decisions being made about the fate of my things. Things that were once thought of as breathlessly precious, no longer mattering to me. Just one more thing that death has made irrelevant. But in this moment, the old frying pan remains handy and beloved for emergency 2 a.m. grilled cheese sandwiches.